All right, welcome executives to today's explainer. We are diving headfirst into what might just be the ultimate corporate case study, blending high-stakes capitalism with, well, literal cosmic anomalies. I want you to forget your standard blue-chip stocks and your municipal bonds for a second. Today we're looking at the absolute vanguard of aggressive market strategies, deployed by the infamous surveil entity, Marshall, Carter, and Dark Ltd. So, grab your notepads because the financial brief we're unpacking today is going to completely redefine what it means to leverage an asset. A quick message. Accessing these archives requires Level 3 clearance. Ensure your credentials are up to date by hitting the subscribe button to stay informed on future containment breaches. Back to the video. I want to kick things off by posing a serious question to all of you. What if your next major market breakthrough wasn't found in a Bloomberg terminal or cooked up in a traditional boardroom, but was actually waiting for you in the fifth dimension? Look, I know it sounds like pure science fiction, but for a highly exclusive sect of elite executives, this is just their daily reality. Section 1. The Avenue 5 Advantage. Okay, let's dive into the infrastructure making this all possible. The Foundation officially tags this asset as SCP-2088, but if you're on the invite list, you simply know it as Avenue 5. And it is not just an anomaly. We are talking about a premium, ultra-exclusive networking hub. It is a stable, dimensional aperture tucked right onto a street in New York City. Stepping through this portal grants you access to a lavish interstellar event venue owned by a Marshall, Carter, and Dark executive named Rupert Carter. It's primarily used to host these insanely exclusive business seminars for top-tier surveil executives. And get this, just to highlight the sheer absurd cosmic scale of this corporate asset, Avenue 5 is geographically claimed to be located on Amalthea, which, naturally, just happens to be Jupiter's fifth largest moon. It's a completely bizarre geographical flex, but honestly, it perfectly sets the stage for the kind of surreal market disruptors we're about to look at. Moving right along to Section 2, Cosmic Superstitions Market Strategies. Now, this perfectly illustrates the bizarre synergy I'm talking about. Just look at the history of these past seminars. You've got Star Sign V, which was specifically targeted at traders, the primary market strategy, literally harnessing astrology to predict and trade over-the-counter anomalous synthetic derivatives. Then you have Keeping Up with the Fifths, an incredibly aggressive real estate summit, and the big strategy takeaway there was calculating the absolute unluckiest evening times to announce evictions to tenants, all to maximize property turnover. There was even a seminar called Dragons Can Be Fifthists Too, exclusively for humanoid dragonlings, focusing heavily on fifth-dimensional ritual thaumaturgy. We're talking about an entirely new paradigm of value creation built entirely on cosmic superstition. Section 3. Rupert Carter's Starlight Schemes. Because every aggressively disruptive firm needs an eccentric mastermind, let's meet the architect behind all this volatility. The Foundation designates him POI-012-03, but the financial underworld knows him as Rupert Carter. As a leading executive for Marshall, Carter, and Dark, he operates as this high-energy corporate persona who literally bridges the gap between the New York Stock Exchange and the stars. And he has a very specific name for his unique brand of market manipulation. He calls them Starlight Schemes. To really wrap your head around his presentation style, you have to picture this unhinged, booming voice echoing across a massive glass dome yelling, "Make some noise, New York City! Who's ready to make some money?" I mean, the guy's intentionally contrasting the dark, mahogany boardroom aesthetic of his peers with the raw, chaotic energy of a televangelist selling you the cosmos. It is wild. But accessing his premium insights? Yeah, that requires jumping through serious, reality-bending hoops. Just to enter the VIP seating area for his seminars, attendees are required to perform a hyper-specific mandatory ritual. You have to approach this unusual starfish-shaped handle, whisper the Latin phrase "Ostende mihi astra," which means "show me the stars," count to exactly 5, and close your eyes. Only then do you actually materialize in your velvet VIP seat. Which brings us to Section 4, Assessing Escalating Event Risks. Okay, now we need to perform a little risk assessment on what the acceptable losses of these strategies actually look like. Because if we trace the timeline of Avenue 5's events, there's a very disturbing trend of escalating market volatility. Back in 2018 and 2019, things are relatively contained. You've got mundane tech summits, some paratech, real estate superstitions. By October 2020, they escalate to auctioning off the reality-bending book SCP-1425. But the real, massive spike in overhead risk happens in May 2021. It was during a private event called Kimberly Suite 15, What began as a birthday party for an Amazon executive's daughter ended in visceral corporate horror. It actually culminated in the ritualistic killing and partial consumption of several attendees by a 5-dimensional starfish. Section 5. The Tech Summit Case. Let's dig into our primary case study today. This is based on a live observation log from September 5, 2021. To investigate this escalating danger, the Foundation basically initiated a corporate espionage mission. They sent an observer named Isa to infiltrate Tech Summit V, having him pose as an analyst for a firm called Statham Capital Partners. Once inside, Isa managed to network with none other than Robert Shadid Carter, who is Rupert's nephew. Robert actually escorted our observer directly into the VIP section for Rupert's most ambitious seminar to date. Now, what is truly staggering about this event is the sheer, immediate return on investment demonstrated live on stage. Midway through the seminar, Rupert actually summons pentagonal tendrils. These are parts of a massive 5th-dimensional entity residing physically beneath the New York Stock Exchange. He grabs a tendril and literally rips a chunk out of it with his teeth, sending this golden ichor spraying all over the VIP crowd. And the result? The attendees whose portfolios are exposed to this cosmic ritual watch their exchange-traded funds instantly spike by exactly 5.55%. But as with all things finance, these aggressive liquidity events are governed by obsessive rules, though in this case, they're cosmic. During the summit, an audience member points out that the formal markets are actually closed. Rupert smoothly responds that the market only opens to these specific anomalous entities twice a day, at exactly 05:55 a.m. and 05:55 p.m. If you try summoning a market surge outside of those strict limits, you get absolutely nothing. And for sure, there are strict volume caps to consider too. Robert Carter ends up explaining to Isa that his uncle Ruprecht limits his firm to locating a maximum of 55 of these entities per year. The reason? Well, years ago, Ruprecht made a slight miscalculation in his risk management. He was off by just one single digit, and the resulting cosmic backlash nearly wiped out half of his entire personal fortune. Unsurprisingly, Isa is pretty horrified by this reality-bending strategy. But Robert Carter? He just shrugs it right off, delivering this chillingly calm piece of financial wisdom: can't ever get rid of market exposure entirely. Honestly, it perfectly encapsulates exactly how Marshall, Carter, and Dark operate. To them, visceral cosmic horror isn't some existential threat to humanity. No, it's simply an unpredictable market fluctuation that needs to be properly hedged. Section 6. Volatility and Market Outlook. So let's look at the aftermath of this massive liquidity event. The absolutely crucial point here is comparing the strategy yield against the overhead risk. At the climax of the summit, Rupert forces Isa onto the stage alongside another audience member, a woman trying to recoup assets she lost in a divorce. He forces them to perform a summoning. The yield for this? The woman gains 55-fold tax-exempt wealth and enough instant capital to buy a fleet of new penthouses. The overhead risk? 55 sharp blades instantly impale their feet, which is immediately followed by a massive shadow entity completely imploding Isa. And the darkest part? That is exactly how the situation is treated, as a mere transaction. Isa's horrific physical liquidation is entirely leveraged as a tax-exempt cosmic blessing for that competing audience member. Rupert literally films the gruesome death, laughing, and tells the woman to go check her bank account. In their eyes, Isa wasn't murdered. He was simply the overhead cost of a hostile corporate takeover orchestrated entirely through the 5th dimension. Now, the Foundation's response has essentially been to issue a severe market volatility warning to the broader surveil economy. Following the events of Tech Summit V, the entrance to Avenue 5 was abruptly relocated, and its current whereabouts are unknown. Priority tracking has been initiated for both Ruprecht and Robert Carter. And, as you might expect, the anomaly itself is pending an upgrade to Keter classification simply due to the extreme, uncontainable nature of these aggressive seminars. Which leaves us with this final thought. We have seen the incredible yields, and we've certainly seen the visceral, bloody overhead. So I have to ask you, in a market where the stars themselves may literally go out, but the prices always seem to go up, what is the ultimate cost of doing business? Is leveraging the 5th dimension truly worth the overhead, or are we all just sitting around waiting for the day the market finally corrects itself? Thank you for joining me on this explainer, executives. I'll see you at the next briefing. This concludes today's briefing. If you wish to maintain your current clearance level and ensure continued access to the Versarian database, a subscription to this channel is mandatory. Secure your connection by leaving a like on this file, and log your requests in the comments section below to dictate which anomaly we unseal next. Stay vigilant and expect your next set of logs every day. Secure, contain, protect.